Welcome back to the channel. Max Tornow here, office of the day. I want to talk about how to build a real business that is legit, a real business that lasts you a lifelong. Because there's too many wannabe entrepreneurs out there, there's too many people out there that whack around with different business models and they read a lot of business books and they follow all the gurus, but they themselves are not making any money. And at the end of the day, if you're not making any money, what's the point of building a business? So if you like the idea of building a legit business that actually brings value to other people and that brings you money, and most importantly something that can last a lifelong to support you, your future family, and so on and so forth, then pay attention now, because I'm going to lay it out to you. Let's get started.
Have you ever wondered whether there's more to life than a boring dead-end 9-to-5 job? Have you ever dreamed about breaking free, traveling the world, making good money, and just enjoying life? No more office dress code, no morning commute, no boss. This channel is for you, so here's to your freedom.
And to bring the first point across to you, we're going to read together through a message that I gotten on Instagram. And as you know, I reply to all Instagram messages as long as I can actually give value. And I've gotten this one earlier today, and it's very interesting. Read through it together with me and see if something strikes a chord with you. Maybe you already see what the fella is doing wrong. And he basically just starts out with, hey Max, thanks for everything. Quick question, how can you help me? And I'm like, oh, tell me more about yourself. Tell me more what you're doing. Maybe I can help you. And he says, hey Max, thanks for the quick response. My current situation is I'm working a 9-to-5 job as a consultant for a local e-commerce company. In addition, I'm writing my books, plural, and then he's basically going ahead and tells me where he wants to go and what he wants to do. And here's the issue. Maybe you know it already. He's not focusing, he's not channeling his focus on one thing, right? He says like, oh, I'm doing the e-commerce consulting, I want to build a freedom business, and oh, by the way, I'm writing my books. He's doing these three things together at the same time, and this is a very, very big problem I see a lot of people doing. They build they try to build a lot of small businesses, and they do this, and they build a brand on the side, and they're not even getting a single proper business up and running, right? In fact, Nikita and I, we often joke around about this. The holy trifecta of whackness is usually a guy who says, well, on one hand, I'm a crypto investor because I've bought $500 worth of crypto. Additionally to that, I'm building my own drop shipping store, which is whack on top of that. And additionally to that, I'm building my brand. So this fella then is doing three different things. He's giving 33% here, 33% here, 33% here, and none of these businesses is actually going to carry a lifestyle for the rest of his life. None of these businesses is going to build a future for him and his future spouse and or children. It's dabbling around in dumb ideas instead of building one thing legit and focusing on that, right? So channel your focus on something. Now, imagine you're a basketball player, right? Imagine you're Michael Jordan in 1998 finals, and he knows he has to score. He has to make this last score happen, otherwise they won't win the finals, right? Now imagine Michael Jordan commits 30% of going on the left side through the defense, but then he says, now let me go 30% on the right side, and then with 30% of his effort, he's trying to go through the middle and hoop. Ain't gonna work. Not going to work. So you have to give 100% to one thing. So we're playing, without saying their name, who's your all-time favorite Formula 1 driver? Not bad for a number 2 driver. What the it's probably Bottas then. Who's Are You Crying? That's also Norris.
Oh,
isn't that Norris?
Yeah, that's Norris.
Are you crying? The tears of joy, man. The spinning guy. That's funny. Hold on a second, Max. He said, oh, you can absolutely build your online freedom business next to your job. In fact, most of our clients do build their online freedom businesses as a coach or as a service provider next to their job, because it's possible, because the way we've laid out our structure doesn't necessarily require you to work on it several days, several hours a day. However, this is the next concept that kind of builds upon the first concept. Expansion versus maintenance, okay? Whatever it is that you're doing in your life, be it you want to become fit, you want to build a business, you want to get your social life handled, you can always expand in one of these things, and the other ones have to be on maintenance, right? So when you, for example, say, oh, I want to build a business, you have to give 100% to build that business, and that is called expansion. You're expanding your knowledge in business, you're really committing down to one thing, right? Now, can you be in a job on the side? Absolutely. You can kind of keep your job on maintenance, if you will, right? You kind of do that on autopilot. You cannot work on two things at the same time and expand both. It's going to be very difficult for you, right? Same for me, for example. In my life, I have three very big focuses or foci, right? Number one, my business. Number two, fitness and my physical health. Number three, social life, okay? Now, what I'm doing right now is I'm focusing heavily on business because it makes me the happiest and it brings the most value to society, to other people. So right there, I'm expanding, meaning the most headspace is going to be occupied by me and my business goals, all right? The most energy that I have available throughout the day is going to be spent on that expansion of my business, right? At the same time, I can still go to the gym, but only on maintenance mode. Right now, I go to the gym 3 times a week, meaning I'm making some gains, I get fitter, but I'm not gonna progress like crazy through that. It's a maintenance mode. 2-3 years ago, back in 2017, my focus was on fitness, so I was expanding at that. I was spending most of my energy and my focus on that. I was going to the gym 6 times a week, and I had my business on maintenance, right? So you can kind of get what I'm trying to say here is, if you want to build a business, build one legit business and focus on one business structure, one business model, instead of putting some X here, 30% here, 30% there. Put 100% in one business idea and follow through with that, right? But Max, people, goddamn, Warren Buffett says, have several sources of income. Yes. Once your first business makes you multiple $1 million a year, then you may want to spread your income a little bit. But not if you're making $500 from your dropshipping store and $500 from your Bitcoin investment. That's BS, all right? Go build that first business, expand with that first business, as we're teaching our clients. Make your first 5 figures a month, get to your first 10K, scale it up to 25K, 50K, automate it. So now you have 50K coming in a month, relatively comfortable. And then you can say, all right, let me take some of that money, let me invest some of it in real estate, let me invest some of it in the stock market or whatnot, right? But you got to build it up first. You got to expand on that first until you can put it on maintenance, and then you expand in something else until you put that on maintenance, and then you expand in something else, and so on and so forth. The problem nowadays is that we're getting so overwhelmed with all the information that so many people, including very likely, statistically speaking, maybe even you, who just continue to watch all the business content. They follow all the gurus on YouTube. They watch all the stuff, all the videos. They read all the free ebooks. They follow everybody on Instagram, and they like the little motivational quotes on Instagram. And in their head, they're like, oh, I'm an entrepreneur myself. I myself have read several books on entrepreneurship. And oftentimes I ask these people, great, what have you done? How much money have you made? Oh, I haven't started anything. There's people out there who are much more well-read in a very wide out spread knowledge, but they haven't gotten any results. And I'm very focused on one piece of knowledge, which is building an online business as an online coach or as an online service provider. That's all my expertise is. That's all there is. But I've channeled that to such a degree where I made multiple 7 figures with my very first business, which is the dating advice and relationship advice business that literally allowed me to make multiple $1 million a year with that. So it's my own expertise. And now I help people do that as well, right? Which is something I always pride myself in. I'm not a person who got rich by teaching people how to get rich. No, I've had my own online coaching business already, right? And then slowly but steadily, people started asking me how I did that, right? So anyways, expansion versus maintenance. And this is something I had to learn the hard way because, when I was in my early 20s, I also wanted to be free. I also hated the idea of having to go to a 9-to-5 job, and I felt so lost. And, my parents didn't have a business. My dad had a small brick and mortar business as an advertising agency in our little village, but that was not really like an international large online business. And my mom was just 9 to 5, and nobody in my family really had this like business-minded mindset. And I'm like, this is just like downstairs, just like the cars honking downstairs. That was what was going on in my brain. It was all these alarm clocks going on. I'm like, I gotta break out, and I felt so lost. And of course, then the internet came along, Web 2.0, and there was all this knowledge, all this information. I felt overwhelmed by that. I'm like, what am I gonna do? Who should I listen to? What is real? What is gonna be a good fit for me? I don't know. Do I need to commit to that? And it was just such a difficult time for me. Being without a purpose in your life, being without passion, this kills you. It freaking kills you. And if I look at friends of mine growing up alongside with me, they're in their 30s now as well, and they're just dead. they live in the same village, in the same apartment, and they're not happy. And I'm like, I don't want this to happen to me. I want to be able to thrive. I want to be able to travel. I want to be able to give back to my parents who've always been there for me. You know, they might have not necessarily helped me with their business advice, but they've always supported all my dumb ideas. You know, and all I want to do is just give back and at the same time have a good time for myself, right? Anyways, if you haven't done so yet, go give me a follow on my Instagram account. That's important for you because I reply to all the DMs on there. As long as I can help you, I read all DMs, and as long as I can help you, I reply to your DM as well. I'm posting multiple value nuggets on there each and every day. I'm doing live streams on there, Instagram Q&As. Very, very important. So definitely check out my Instagram account, and also check out our Freedom Business Mentoring Instagram account if you haven't done so yet, because on there we're sharing our most successful client stories. We're posting more specifically business-minded content. So we're going to show both Instagram accounts here as well. Give a follow to both. You can only give highly valuable. You can only get highly valuable things from there. So I highly recommend you that. And what you got to understand about a real lifelong lasting business is the online coaching and the online service providing market has been growing very, very steadily over the last 10 years. This is again like your patterns continuously are the following. You do what we tell you to do, then you're getting good results, and then you're starting to sprinkle in your own ideas, and then you're panicking, getting back to us like, it doesn't work, and then we gotta de-wackify you from that again and get you back on track. If you want to scale up to 50, then just trust us, right? You're not the first guy that we brought to 50 or 100K a month for that matter. That growth hasn't stopped. That growth hasn't even continued to do so. That growth has been blowing up, specifically in 2020. Now, this is a growth that I've predicted for a very, very long time. You can, in fact, watch older videos from last year, for example. You can, check out older content that I've been posting on my Instagram. I've always said the online coaching market is only going to grow over the next decades to come. Why? Well, because more and more people are using the internet. If you remember way back in the days, Tinder, right? The dating app. How creepy was it? Thank you very much. Yeah, you can just put it here. You can put it there, thank you. How creepy was it back in the days to meet someone off the internet? Like, oh my God, you're going on a date from someone off the internet. Hope you're not gonna die, we're not gonna be killed or something like that. I mean, how crazy was that, right? And nowadays it's the most normal thing in the world to meet how many people have gotten married because they met on Tinder and stuff like that. So on the one hand, you have the general public waking up to the idea of using the internet for something that they've previously not used it for, right? On top of that, you had this whole quarantine situation coming in at the beginning of 2020, first half of 2020, where all these service providers that used to put their service offline, or all these mentors that used to teach offline, they now literally just got their job from one moment to the other. So more and more people realized, hey, well, I can't go to the gym and work out with my personal trainer. Let me get an online coach. And I mean, we've had multiple clients ever since then in the online coaching sphere for fitness, for example, started to make more and more money. I mean, for them, this whole crisis and quarantine, it's literally a blessing in disguise for them. It was the best thing that could ever have happened to them, because more and more people need online expertise. Online is not going to go anywhere. The internet's not going to, the internet is not just a fad that is going to go away. Everything is going to be automated. Everything is going to be done online. I mean, nowadays, you don't even have to meet your clients in person anymore. I mean, I love it when I meet my clients in person, but a vast majority of them I've never met in person. I literally just teach them from my phone using WhatsApp or Skype videos or Zoom meetings and stuff like that. And the beautiful thing about that is, the market is growing. In fact, if you look at the numbers, the market in some countries for online coaching, online service providing is literally doubling every year. And all you have to do is position yourself in that market, and you're already taking all that growth with you just automatically. If on top of that, you'll learn how to position yourself properly in a small niche that you can slowly but steadily learn to dominate, you can grow even faster. And no, you don't even need to be number one in the field, right? A lot of people say, oh, there's already so many coaches in my niche out there. You don't even need to dominate that field. You could be the 100th best paid coach in that niche, and you're still gonna make an easy 5 figures a month, if not even 6 figures a month with that, right? You don't need to be the best. I'm not the best either, I don't think so. I'm really, really, really good in that very specific niche, right? And most of my clients are not the best in their niche, yet they're able to make their easy 10K a month, be able to travel the world, meet me in person, or do whatever the hell they please, and they can work location independently, time independently. I mean, I love working in places like this. I love working at home. I love working at the beach or at a pool. Again, all I need is my goddamn iPhone, sometimes a laptop. Nowadays, the laptop is becoming more and more obsolete. At some point, I could just travel just with the phone, which is amazing. Anyways, what you got to understand is what we teach to our clients in our beginner freedom business mentoring program, even in our more advanced business branding masterclass, we focus on it in a way that we want you to make your first 4 to 5 figures a month for that. And we focus on it in a way that you can build something of a lifetime there, okay? Meaning, you're not just gonna go there and it's just like some get rich quick scheme or anything like that. I never thought these are good. I like to actually prefer working with someone over a longer time, but doing it legit. All right, so it can take a couple weeks until you make your first money. It can take a couple weeks until you crack your first 10K, right? But at the very least, the process works, right? It's been proven to work hundreds of times before with hundreds of clients that we've worked with. It might be boring, but at the same time it works, right? Because again, we don't want you to just make a quick buck and then screw off and go back into 9-to-5 life. No, we want you to build something that can literally last you a lifetime. So you can do this 10 years from now, 20 years from now. So you do this however long you want, right? At my point, I don't need to work anymore. I have enough money. I could just chill. I could just be here all day and eat whatever it is that you ordered here, yogurt with fruits. I do this my entire life. Play some video games, wait for PS5 to come out, go play that all day. But I just like working, right? I love helping people. It fulfills me. Maybe it's narcissism, knowing that I am the one who helps them become free, right? I don't care. At the end of the day, I work because I love the work. It fulfills me. It's literally my hobby and my occupation and my calling all combined, right? And that's exactly what we want our clients to have as well. Something that they love working on, something that they love doing for the rest of their life, something that they're comfortable with doing for the very, very rest of their lives, right? And I want you to imagine this right now as well. The very thing that you're doing right now, maybe you're working at a specific job in a specific office with a specific type of people. Can you see yourself doing this until you're 60, 70? Can you see yourself doing this for decades, not years, but decades to come? Can you see yourself strutting, step dancing to work for the rest of your life? If the answer is no, then ask yourself that, why not? You're gonna be doing it for a very, 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 very long time. You're gonna be stuck in that for a very long time, right? I didn't invent the game. You're gonna need money if you wanna afford a living, a lifestyle, food and shelter for your family, education. You're gonna need money for that, right? So you're gonna have to work. Only question is, are you gonna spend your energy, your daily energy on something that you don't love doing, or are you gonna spend it on something that you do love doing, right? I get to live this. I'm happy. I can't wait to keep doing it for many, many years to come. My clients are doing it. They're crushing it. Makes them happy, makes us happy. Upward spiral. And when you want to be part of that upward spiral, you also want to be successful as an online coach or as an online service provider. And we're going to put a link down in the description below, or a link that appears somewhere here right now. You click that link and you book a free consulting call, a free consultation call either with me directly or with an expert from our team. On that call, we'll look at your situation. We can tell you what options you have. We can analyze your strengths. We can tell you what exact steps that you need to take in your specific situation in order to get started with your own online business. Now, I said it before, we're focused on absolute beginners, okay? Most of the clients that you see here on this channel, for example, the client interviews, the testimonials that we're posting everywhere, all these people, most of them, 95% of them, have zero prior business experience. And all these people have started with literally the same thing, which is booking a free consulting call. That's exactly the way how they got started. And that's the way how you can get started as well. So if you have a skill and you want to learn how to monetize it, that call is for you. If you don't have a skill, right? If you just like the idea of being free, but you feel lost, you don't know what you could offer or where to start, you have no clue whatsoever, then that call is for you as well. Like I said, we're focused on beginners. We can analyze your strengths. We can tell you what exact options are there for you and what steps are there for you to be taken, right? And if you're already making some money, but you want to legitimize it, you want to do it better, you want to scale it, that call is for you as well. So like I said, link down in the description below. If you click that link and it still works, it means we still have a spot open for you. You can read through the page because there's more important information for you on that page. And at the bottom of the page, you fill out the application. It takes you 2 minutes to fill it out. And then you can book the exact date and time where you want us to call you. So I'm excited about talking to you. Let's crush it together. Thank you very much for your attention. I appreciate that. I'm going to go work a little bit more and steal some of that food. Thank you very much, and bye-bye.
What's up, Freedom Business Mentoring? We just closed our first client last week for 2K, And yes, it feels amazing. So here are your feelings, and here are the things you have to execute on. And this is the most important thing that we learned, that you have to put your feelings aside and just do the right things and
enjoy everything and never, 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 ever give up. Help people, provide some value, and
thanks for everything.